2017. We're excited, new beginnings, planting seeds. Does everybody remember last week? Everybody excited about last week? Anybody planting seeds?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to share this little thing from Facebook. Danielle Gokel posted this. So there's two little creatures. The creature says, "Why so optimistic about 2017? What do you think it will bring?" And the other little creature says, "I think it will bring flowers." And the other creature then goes, "Well, that's not it. It's gone." Oh, there it goes. "Well, flowers, why do you believe that?" And the other one says, "Because I am planting flowers."
Nice.
Is that not our theme?
Yeah.
So we believe we're very optimistic. We are very optimistic about 2017 because we know what it will bring, because it will bring what we are planting. Yay! Okay. Today we're going to talk about divine order, but let me preface everything. 2017, as we spoke last week, I'm not going to tell you what to plant. You'll know what to plant. But what we want to do is put fertilizer in the soil, enrich the soil. So I'm kind of using as a guideline during the month of January and February the teachings that were given to Mary and Elizabeth. So this is what happened. When Jesus was born, let me remind you, there was a threat by Herod the king to all the male children. And an angel appeared to, well, the wise men, some people say the angel told the wise men, Joseph, there's many variations of the story. But a divine message was given to Joseph and Mary to take Jesus to safety in Egypt and stay there until they got the message to return. And then the Essene movement went to get Elizabeth and baby John. Now, Zacharias, John's dad, had already been killed for not telling the Roman soldiers where his son was, because they were going after all the babies. Do you remember the story? Okay, so now we have the Essene movement. The angels are getting Elizabeth and John and secreting them to Egypt. So now Mary and Elizabeth, the mommies, and the baby Jesus and the baby John are in Egypt. When they arrive there, there are two people that say, "Come and live with us, we will teach you." And that's Elihu and Salome, his wife. So we'll speak of these two, Elihu and Salome. But what starts out in the Aquarian is the story of how the mothers are being taught so they can teach their children. You know? A long time ago, many years ago, there was a man that was teaching the grandmother wisdom from, I believe it was either Australia or New Zealand. I believe it was New Zealand. But he said the saying was, "Teach a man and one man will know. Teach a woman and the world will know." Because the women teach. The women will teach everyone in their community anything that they learn. A man will learn and do. If you're interested, you can intern with him. But he does not teach as profoundly as the female does. So, to change a culture, you teach the females. They're the ones with the children. And that's kind of the way it's been for a while. It may be changing now, but we're back in the time of Jesus. So we're teaching the moms. And I thought if we are going to change our lives to become Christed and to manifest our dreams, why not look at those lessons? And look at where he began, where Elihu began teaching the moms. So we're going to start in chapter 7. And I'm just going to read a few little verses here without my glasses. All right. Okay, they're in Egypt. Mary and Elizabeth marveled much because of their deliverance. They could not understand how they had been saved from the hostile energy that was coming toward the children. Elihu said, "It is not strange. There are no happenings. Law governs all events. From olden times it was ordained that you should be with us, and in this sacred school be taught." And then Elihu and Salome took Mary and Elizabeth to the sacred grove nearby where they would teach them. That's where we begin. There are no accidents in the universe. matters. Everything is by law. Everything is by universal principle and law. And so the first law that we see enacted here is divine order. And divine order is the law that everything, if allowed to be, will be in its proper place and time sequence for the highest good of all to occur. Ordained. Things are ordained. Do you guys ever use that word? This is ordained. Ordained is, to me, to be set into motion, to be organized or prearranged. It was ordained. We could say possibly it was ordained to have a Sunday service this morning. We could say for some of you it was ordained that you be here, and for some of you it was by choice. Do you see? So there is free will moving through everything. I want you to understand that. There is free will moving through everything. In one of our plays that we did, Five Men, I know that you'll remember because it's quite famous, and the script was quite fabulous. In that one point where one of the guys is preparing to incarnate again, and he's being placed into a hostile environment, and the angel says to him, "You're being given the golden passport." Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
The golden passport from God, which means that no one can derail you from your purpose. And the angel says, every single human choice that could affect you has been taken care of. You are being guided and protected, and you will do what you have now set about to do. Your life will happen in the way it needs to happen. Now, the other boys in the movie, or in the little play, did not get divine passports, or the golden passport from God. They got passports. Good luck. Hope you make it on your journey. But they had a plan, and everything that could be set up for them was set up for them. Do you see? So we're dealing now with the idea of our soul choice, our human choice, and this beautiful universal law of divine order. Divine order is an automatic law. It happens whether you participate in it or not. If allowed to be, everything will flow in the sequence that will support your growth, your life, your love, and everyone's growth, life, and love around you. So simple, isn't it? All right. Divine order. It is one of the most fabulous principles that you ever need to learn. And it's normally our first lesson. When you remember when you first started in metaphysics, divine order, oh, divine order, divine order. We are actually allowing the knowing of working with God to enter our plans, divine order. I have a plan, but I'm allowing the working of God to also enter in. So, yes, I will have flowers. I am planting my seeds for flowers, but I am knowing that the sun will shine, the rain will move, everything will calm, the little seed will wake up, and at the perfect time, I will harvest the flower that I planted. But did I make the sun shine, the rain to come? Did I yell at the seed and tell it to grow? No. Are you guys hearing me? Everything that we do has this beautiful harmony of life support around it. And we have to have space for that to occur. How many of you get really mad when things don't happen the way you want them to? This side does. You guys are good. Okay. They're all going, oh yeah. Yeah, I had a moment even yesterday. My internet didn't obey me. And it won. I know nothing about it. We always have those moments where it's my will, and the minute we're in my will, we're out of divine order. We're out of this might be happening for a reason. We're out of there's a greater plan occurring here. We're out of your original intention's fine. Hang with it, all right? Divine order supports all of our growth and choices, and it supports those ordained moments as well. You do not know what you are doing oftentimes, but you feel that you have to jump. Have you ever had those moments where you don't know what you're doing, but you must jump now and you must? Those are ordained moments. That's when you are at a point in your life journey that you have to shift or change. And you don't know what you're doing because you cannot see the plan beyond that moment. But who made that plan? You did. You did. Choices were made before you were born. Some call these destiny points. We call them soul choice points. When we are all ordained to become the realized children of God, but we have soul choice points that we set for ourselves so that we could grow along those lines, the lines that we've chosen. Okay. Divine order allows, even when you make those jumps, everything to be in motion to support you. Have you ever jumped and fallen flat on your face and said, "What have I done?" When you were feeling compelled to jump? You did not find yourself in a new opportunity, in a new space to examine life differently? Even the dark night of the soul, they used to speak of that a lot. I don't know if you've ever been in that space. It's where you know you are having to release all hold on matter, and you don't know how. And you tend to isolate yourself, and sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's smaller, but for most of us it's a longer period of time. But you know you can't do anything else. Because this is the moment when you are being rerouted, rechanged, it's an ordained space where you're going to be doing something differently. But all the time, when you're in that moment, you still have your needs met, you meet the people that you need to meet, and everything leads you to that next phase in your existence. If you've ever done the dark night of the soul and come on the other side, was the other side better? Night and day for most of us. A new person is created. All right. So, the sun is always there to shine, the rain is always ready to nurture us. When I was preparing this service, Spirit reminded me of several moments with one of my bosses in particular, and I never think about this man. It's in my history. But they gave me this as an example. There are times when I do something so innocently, and then I am shocked by the reaction to me. And with this particular boss, he was planning on doing something, and I had been in the company for a really long time, and then we went public, so they brought a CFO in over me, so it was the president and me, and now the CFO was here. And we'd been working together really well for about a year, and then he was going to do something. I said, "Oh no, don't do that, you can't do that, the ramifications are this." "No, I'm going to do it, period." Well, I went to the president, because we were friends, and I said, "He's planning on doing this. I just wanted you to know because this is what I think the ramifications are going to be." And the president went, "Oh yeah, that's what it's going to be." Called the guy in and said, "You can't do that." That guy hated me. I was shocked. And he transferred to a facility out of state. And I was shocked. And he said, "I can't have somebody going behind my back." I said, "I didn't. I told you what I was going to do. I'm going to go talk to the president. I just can't support that." "Well, I just can't deal with that." "Okay, great." I was shocked. The reaction to what had occurred was monumentally larger than what had occurred. Nothing was secret. Everything was talked about beforehand. Well, they showed me that and they said, "Do you realize in that moment you were the pivotal point for him to shift consciousness? He was at a soul choice moment and you were the only one that could push him over the edge to make that choice." Great, thank you. He moved out of state. He stayed within our company, did a thriving job, loved it. I know he forgave me later when he asked me to have an extra relationship with him, which I turned down. But I'm telling you, we were close. It wasn't like we weren't friends. We were close. So, but I share this with you because sometimes we are used as that point for another. Have you ever been shocked at how someone reacts to you? And you know that wasn't what you intended. But realize that if we approach everything with love and go back to divine order and not take on the responsibility of what occurred, we can go divine order with our own stuff easier, can't we? Oh, divine order. I really ticked them off. Oh, good, divine order. Yeah, they'll get over it, no problem. No, it's really hard for us. It's easier for us to include God in our stuff than when we interact with another. So they wanted us to look at both aspects of it. God cannot be working divine order within my life and not yours. God works divine order within mine and yours. When we lead with love, and we lead with good intentions, and we lead with sincerity, law of giving and receiving what returns to us. Love, goodness, good intentions, and sincerity. When something that we have done does not yield that immediately, give it to God. You may be playing a role in a moment. Okay? I don't know why they wanted us to share that today, but be aware of that. All right. In our lives, we are a catalyst for ourselves. We can activate divine order, or we can allow divine order. In those moments when we feel that we're caught somewhere in our journey and it's uncomfortable. Does everybody have those moments? In that space, you can say divine order. God, I'm trusting divine order. I activate it now, and I'm asking to see or recognize all the good that is coming to me to make right what I'm feeling. Now, does that make sense to you guys? When I was younger and first getting started, because I had to shift a lot, I had to go from a space of discomfort in every almost area of my life to a space of love and support. And that's very challenging to go from that far. And I used to keep divine order on my desk, sticky boards, wherever, to keep reminding myself. Divine order, divine order. People probably got sick of me saying it. Divine order. Well, this has happened. Divine order, it'll be okay. Divine order, it'll be okay. And just I kept clinging to that and activating it in my world. And eventually there was no emotional response at all from me other than hope. Yes, there's going to be flowers in 217 because I planted it. Yes, God's going to come in because I'm calling forth divine order, and that gives God space in my life. You see? I'm letting it move through me. So, I can't tell you what, I can tell you what divine order feels like. And I can tell you what it doesn't feel like. Divine order, when you are walking in divine order, it feels like you're in the flow. You have those days where everything is perfect, even when everything isn't. You're flowing with God. Oh, did I get a flat tire? Well, okay, there's somebody helping with my flat tire. Awesome, thank you, God. Oh, do I have an unexpected bill? Okay, well, that's going to be taken care of. And you feel this lightness that flows through you and lifts you up, and it feels like an inner joy. We've had those days, haven't we? And they're not filled with great grand accomplishment, are they? They're filled with a series of living, a series of choices, a series of experiences. It's a life. That's divine order. It's not that we went out and triumphed. It's that we went out and flowed. And we know when we're out of divine order, when we're pushing through something and our body says stop and our spirit says stop and we're pushing through it, no, one more thing, I've got to get one more thing done. And we start getting a headache and we start fighting it, one more thing! And you mess up and something breaks. And then something doesn't happen, you go, grrr! And then you turn around and you realize that you should have been someplace else. That divine order was actually asking you to play a role in something else. And if you played that role in something else, what would you have felt? La, 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 la. Happy. The flow of energy. How many of you push yourselves beyond divine order? Okay. Some. You push yourselves beyond it instead of breathing through and saying, okay, show me what I need to do. And I've shared with you many times, I used to have a deal with God when I worked in corporate, because I handled too many businesses. There were 4 or 5 little businesses, and they all had different deadlines and different reports, and I handled them all. And I had this deal, okay, if I am missing something I need to do, let me know. And I would be working along, and I would get this headache, and I would get anxious. I would clear my desk, say, okay. Clear my desk, I'd sit at an empty desk, and I'd say, okay. Show me what I need to do. I'd open the drawer, I'd see a file, I'd pull the file out, and danged if that didn't have a due date of this afternoon. Every time. What do I need to do? And I was able to do the work of thousands by flowing with the energy of God. And every day I went to that job, I said, God, do I still have to go to this job again? I'm done. I worked 3 days a week, and I was doing my studies and doing healing work the other 4 days a week. And I was so ready to let it go. God, do I have to go? Yep. Okay, divine order. Divine order. And I flowed until one day they said, you don't have to go in anymore. Thank you. Divine order. So I jumped from that to no income. Yay! Divine order! Didn't miss a lick. Didn't miss a lick. Because I was riding in the flow, and they taught me, that training of being in that space and listening, taught me to listen and taught me to flow. I would like to tell you I'm perfect at it. I am not. But I'm working on it. God never asks you to do anything or puts you in a space where the way has not been prepared. And you can breathe that in. God never says good luck. Good luck with that. Even if you choose something that's very interesting. God says, you can do it. As long as you want to stay there, you can. As long as you want to do what you're doing, you can. It's fine. And what does divine order do? It comes to try to support the choice that you have now made. Whatever that is. There is room for God in every choice that you make. There's no good, there's no bad. If allowed to be, the universe will support you in whatever it is. If you try to control, you've shut the door. Say, I do not control. How did that feel? Awesome. Okay. All right. When you take a step, everything will follow. So, cooperating with divine order is our key today. And you realize we're all energy. We are energy. We're vibrating energy out. Energy returns to us. It returns to us in like kind. It returns to us complementary. It returns to us to support us. So divine order is allowing the beautiful energy of God's supply and support for all of us to move into us, to move into what we're doing. It's aligning us with God consciousness. Divine order is the process of getting to where you desire to be. Divine timing is when everything is ready. Don't we want divine timing now?
Yes.
We do. But you won't be prepared. You know, it's not in our consciousness now. We have to grow to own it. So divine order allows us to grow those seeds for 2017 to harvest at divine timing. Sometimes things get put in place. Sometimes things look different than what you thought. Did you ever see something come to you and you realized that was perfect and it was not what you had in mind? Every day. We are talking about planting seeds, and some of them are going to be so huge this year that we need to remember to let God rain on the seed, bring sun to the seed. And we need to remember to love and nurture the seed. Do you think farmers plant their crops and then go, good luck crops, see you at the harvest? Or do you think they tend them, make sure they get enough water? Do you think they send love to them? Do you think they walk and go, oh, you guys are doing good? They probably do. They're aware of what they planted. So we want to plant, keep our ownership of what we planted, but allow space for God. How simple is this going to be? And as we're walking, sometimes it's going to look like what's coming at us is not what we planted. And then you say, divine order. Not oops. Ooh, this must be blessing me somehow fabulously. And divine order. Because God and I are going to this location. That's what I want. Do you remember that? Has anybody been working with that? That's what I want. That's the seed I'm planting, and that is what I want. And I'm opening up to let God flow support to me, the best that I can receive. All right. Things do not always work out to our design, but they are steps in the divine plan. You follow your guidance, the people will come to you, the places will come to you, the opportunities. If someone says to you something to you that you have an extremely strong reaction to, you might want to say to self, I'm over the top on that one. I wonder what I need to hear. I wonder what I'm trying to tell myself. This is a year of planting with God. Okay? All right, everybody breathe. How do you feel? So you were here by divine order. Divine order will sculpt your week. Always. And I know each one of you has so many stories of times when if you just rolled with the energy of it, you float. That's our goal. Conscious planters working with God. All right, let's put our feet on the floor. God, we ask that your light fill this room. I ask that a beautiful column of light come over each individual. And just feel the love around you. And let that beautiful presence of Jesus the Christ just gently walk you through the garden of your heart. We were there last week. You can go down the path. It's familiar. And I want you to find a place within this garden where you can just sit with Jesus Christ, sit on a bench or a rock or the ground. And just breathe in this spaciousness. Some of you may see the vision of a sky or just feel the energy. Be aware now of where you sit. Be aware of Jesus Christ. And notice that you are a focal point. Your thoughts, your heart, your beingness. And Jesus Christ is a focal point. He is on mission. He is the child of God helping mankind. And you both are sitting in an expanse of beautiful unformed energy. And this energy is yours. Be aware of how large and great it can be as you sit with Jesus Christ. And you can feel and breathe the essence of God's love. And we planted a seed in this beautiful expanse. And you may want to plant another. If you don't want to, just sit and breathe. And if you do, just put your hand on your heart in the vision and see a beautiful golden seed in your hand. You can ask what it is. You can feel it. Now just cast it into the beautiful expanse, sowing it into the energy. And feel the universe stepping in. We got it. We got it. Now let your vision just come to the place where you sit and notice the details. Notice all the comforts and energy around you. Feel the presence of Jesus the Christ. And let your eye go to the details. Feel the reality of embodiment and how good it is to be in the details. So I want you to take his hand again and let's begin to make the journey back to the world of details. The world of matter. Gently coming back down that beautiful path. Back in your body. Feel the chair. Feel the details of your body. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Now look at what you're wearing. Maybe your shoes, your jacket sleeve. Do you like your details? Is it fun to be on this beautiful planet where we can express in such unique and wonderful ways?
Yes.
And that is why you're here, to express in unique and wonderful ways. So, we love the beautiful expanse, we create from it, and we bring it into this world that we can experience life in fabulous ways. All in divine order. Good job.